This episode of St James's Pod is brought to you by Total Supplements. Visit their website totalsupplements.co to discover their range of nutritionist-tested supplements, gummies, shakes and natural extracts. From popular sports supplements like whey protein, creatine, vitamin tablets and powders to mental health supplements such as nootropics and mushrooms, they've got you totally covered. They also have men's health collection offering testosterone support and beauty supplements to keep you looking like your absolute best. I personally use Total Supplements products and I have been using them from before they came on board to sponsor the podcast, so I'm hugely excited to be partnering with a brand that I know and love. So whether you train hard, work hard or take an active interest in your overall health, use our code stjames'pod, that's stjamespod, for 25% off your entire order. The link's in the description. Support the podcast and visit totalsupplements.co now and tell them St James's Pod sent you. And we're back. Welcome to St James's Pod. We're going over the Liverpool game. We just got beat at St James's Park. I'm here with Alex, Tom and Pete. We're going to be going over the game, and it's the second time in a row we're going over a defeat, which I can't actually remember the last time we had to do that, lads. But we're going to have to do it. It was a terrible result in the end. We all predicted a win. Pete actually predicted the 2-1, but he went for 2-1 to Toon, so doesn't get any points for that one. But how are we feeling? Alex, I'll start with you. Obviously gutted, I'd imagine.
Couldn't believe it. Genuinely couldn't believe it. It was one of those where it never even crosses your mind, like during that game, on like 60 minutes, that we could lose the game. I'm sure I've seen like the odds at like 33 to 1, 50 to 1 kind of like price, and it's just like, to drop all 3 points is, I'm not going to say disaster, like it's early in the season, it's Liverpool, but like, yeah, I'm not over it, like, I'm good.
Tom, nodding your head.
Honestly, it's been a tough few days, like, just deflated, like, so, like, deflated. We shouldn't have lost the game. Like, it's simple as that. Like, we've got some huge lessons like that we have to take away from it, because simply can't happen again. Like, that's how gutted I am by it. And I still can't quite gather how it's happened.
Pete, you were at the game as well, weren't you?
I was there. I'm more frustrated that it was in our hands and we just fucked it up, basically. We did it to ourselves. Stupid mistakes, stupid decisions. I do put a bit of that at Eddie Howe's door, to be honest. I think a lot of people do. But it's not the case. I know there's people going around saying Howe's not up to it and all that, which is an absolute joke. But we threw it away. Weren't clinical enough. There's a few mistakes that people need to own up to, but they're just mistakes. You know what I mean? It happens. Plus, What about the 2 defeats? We got beat twice off Liverpool last season, and we didn't beat City last season. So there's a lot of panic stations getting hit here, but it's like we're 3 games in against 2 of the best teams in Europe. So frustrating. I think wear off.
These 3 games last season, we got the exact same 3 results. Home to Villa, away to City, home to Liverpool. We got 3 points out of those. So it's just one of those that, it's shite. Yes, it's a tough start, but if we just match our results in the rest of the season, we could still be fighting up there at the end. So I don't think we need to panic just yet.
Yeah, in context of the season, it's not a disaster, but in context of this game, it was a disaster. So I think, we obviously, as a fan base, people need to keep that in mind, because some people are losing their heads, as you say, Pete. But on this podcast, let's just go over the game in a bit more detail, and we can start with the starting lineup. Obviously, we kind of predicted that he'd go same team again, even though we got beat at City. I think it was probably the correct decision. I was kind of debating whether we should try Gordon on the right so that Barnes could come into the starting lineup, but obviously Gordon absolutely had Trent Alexander-Arnold's life. So, anyone have any comments on the starting lineup at all, or were we all happy when we saw the team sheet?
Yeah, I thought Wilson was going to start, didn't I? Just a feeling. Not really any reasoning behind it. I just thought you'd Howe Wilson in.
I think my only thinking was that we might have seen Lewis Hall on the bench potentially. I mean, it was quite sort of early days for him with the signing only just happening like a few days before it, but I was maybe thinking he might have had him on the bench, but yeah, other than that I was quite happy with how we lined up.
I don't know if you saw on the, like, because obviously I was watching it on the TV, but he was in the stands, wasn't he, with Dummett, Gillespie and John Carver was there. They were all sat together. So I don't know if that's just, obviously I don't know if John Carver's always there, but I don't know if the lads all, like, who don't make the match day team sheet all just sit together anyway, but he was there with them too.
I think John Carver was also there for scouting because he's part of the Scotland backroom team. I'll get my words out. So yeah, and obviously the news of Elliot Anderson being called up after the game probably ties into the fact that why he was there. But yeah, maybe that's Dummett and Gillespie's role now in the team is to like welcome the new boys in and like get them
accustomed. A lot less. I wouldn't mind getting 15 grand a week for being a greeter at the club.
Right.
Being a fluffer.
Yeah.
15 grand a week, mate. Not ruling anything else.
Do you want to start from the back and work our way up? So Pope, in terms of his performance, I had no kind of doubt in my mind that he would be solid after what happened last year, but I have to say he came across a little bit nervous. He was flapping at crosses. He was punching when he should have been catching, and a couple of times he came out where it was kind of heart and mouth stuff because he was in no man's land a little bit.
He was on some headers in there, wasn't he?
It was twice he left the box to make headers, and he had to scramble back to his own net.
Again, we're up against Salah. Like it's like, Jesus, like why risk it again against Salah? Like, but yeah, he obviously he made it happen. But now in terms of like overall performance, yeah, like generally okay. But and I don't know how far you want to jump ahead here, but like I would question potentially his role in the second goal more because of how it kind of the shot comes from the same area, and could he have learnt exactly from the first effort to like try and close that gap a bit quicker, make Núñez think not to just go in the same corner again like he did. So yeah, that would be my only thing on Pope's performance that he might look back on and be a bit disappointed with, that he's been beaten.
I mean, they were good finishes though. They were straight.
They were great finishes. They were great finishes, but like
corner. I get what you're saying. You're just being a bit picky if you had to be.
I'm a little bit picky, but like I just think if he'd been beaten the first time in that same sort of scenario, like they're quite carbon copy sort of goals. Like, so it's like, do you just maybe go slightly further out to the right and close that gap so he hasn't got as much of the far post to aim at, and make him, his indecision, like, potentially. But yeah, I am being a bit nitpicky here on him, because other than that, I think he had a decent game.
You could argue though, at this level, and he's a Champions League keeper now, maybe should be not necessarily stopping them, but a bit more sharper to. Would it be predicting where it's going to be? I don't know, but just maybe a bit more. I don't know what you would say, because there's going to be strikers like that in Europe for every fucking team. So maybe he needs to be a bit more. I don't know how you say it.
I think, like you say, though, they were world class finishers. Like I don't know if I can blame them for the actual goals. And I know what you're saying. Like they were basically carbon copies, so he could have done something different on the second one. But at the same time, you don't know. Is Diaz going to go the same way again? He might be thinking, well, this time he'll go near post or whatever. Like I think I don't really put any blame. What did I say?
Yes.
He wasn't even on the pitch.
He's that shell shocked by the result you can't even remember.
Yeah, but I think for me it was more like is claiming the ball in the corners and stuff, but it wasn't a terrible game by any means. But do you think it was more with him coming out the box? If last season hadn't happened, do you think you'd even be like nervous, or
not as bad?
Was it? Yeah, was it one of them where it was basically just remembering last season that was making it worse, or was it like, especially in the ground, Alex? Was it like, was everyone kind of in the same boat where they were getting a bit nervous with him?
Well, I wasn't at the ground. I wasn't at the match on Sunday. I couldn't make it.
Right.
So I was watching it on the telly box. But Pete can answer that. But
Warbry had his ticket.
Aye. If it wasn't for...
Oh, I did see that picture, actually.
If it wasn't for last season, I don't think it would have felt as bad about it. But we do know that he's a bit nervous when the ball's at his feet. And out the box, he doesn't look a natural sweeper keeper when he's outside the box. Like, obviously the great sweepers do, like sort of your Alissons, your Neuers, whatever. He's not quite comfortable with the ball at his feet, so you would still be a bit nervous, but thankfully he'd done what was needed to be done in those cases.
There was a few fucking hell around the ground, well, around us when he was coming so far out ahead of the ball. Everyone was getting a bit squeaky bum time. Purely because, but I mean, at least he wasn't rolling about the floor trying to head the ball. So there's the plus. He did put it straight out of play. So all good. But what do you reckon? That's the dog, by the way, lad. Sorry.
Well, you were smashing the keyboard or something.
I thought you were rustling with some snacks, to be honest.
No, no snacks, mate. He's just having a bit of a boost.
Let's change tact, actually, and let's get in some positive stuff to start, and then we can come back to some of the mistakes that were made. So, like I said at the top, Gordon obviously had a great game. So let's talk about him a little bit. And he was just getting past Trent. He looked like he had the beating of him like every single time.
Yeah.
Tom, I don't know what you think about the kind of yellow or red that wasn't incident, but
yeah. So I'm trying not to remain on the positive side of things before I talk about that. But he definitely, you're right. He had the beating of Trent every time. We talked about in the preview how we were a bit nervous about channeling his energy in the right way, and that obviously could have been sent off himself, arguably in the City game, in similar sort of circumstances to the Trent's incident in our game, just needless yellow card, and then he was treading a thin line in that City game, and Trent was the same. I thought it was a yellow card. I don't personally think it was a foul by Gordon on Trent. I thought it was just good strength. Trent obviously went flying, made a meal of it, which is probably why some people are claiming that Gordon, it was a foul and that Trent wouldn't have reacted the way he did to get the first yellow card. But yeah, it was a yellow card by the new rules. Yeah, him throwing the ball away like that in anger obviously was a correct decision to book him. And then the second one, yeah, it should be a second yellow. Like, that is an even clearer yellow for me when he's absolutely bombed past him. He's got open space ahead of him. Trent is Gordon's just living in Trent's head at that point, and he just knew Trent had to make that challenge in his head, because he fought Gordon. You know, he was behind him, and the pace that he has, he could have really caused issues. But then the ref bottled it. He didn't give the red card then. So yeah. But the slight negative I'll put on it is the after game comments that Eddie Howe kind of honed in on that, and I'm like, yeah, but even then you had a better scenario in the game for me. We were 1-0 up, and then Van Dijk gets sent off. You take that scenario. You take that scenario over Trent getting sent off at 0-0. And then potentially just sitting deep and trying to hold out at 0-0. We were 1-0 up, and then he got red carded. But Eddie honed in on the Trent should have been sent off thing.
Did you is he making that point aware that the officials fucked up again because he should have been off? So I know. Like, I thought the same as you, mate. I was thinking, like, we should have won that game. We got beat 2-1. They had 10 men. But you've gone to, well, they should have had 9 men. However, man. But is he just saying that because, again, the officials fucked up, and then it was a blatant yellow card? So it doesn't seem like Eddie to.
I think he's trying to.
Like, go on, mate. Go on.
No, I was just gonna say, I think he's trying to, like, cover up some of his own, like, mistakes in the game somewhat by putting the blame at the ref's door when. Really, like, the ref, and we'll get on to the Van Dijk incident, I'm sure, in a second. But like that, like, in some ways, was a bit more contentious. You could argue than the Trent yellow card situations. Like, but obviously went in our favour with the Van Dijk one. So yeah, for him to just revert back and try and use that as an excuse was. It didn't really wash with me, particularly. But no, back to Gordon though. He had a fantastic game, and yeah, by far our best player on the day.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, his goal was brilliant, like, as well. I didn't realise how quick he was, like, when he was at Everton.
The fastest sprint in the league last year, didn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it just doesn't. It just surprises me. I don't know, something about the look of him.
He doesn't look the fastest, does he? I know what you mean.
But the way he got away from Trent for the goal, like, he was so rapid, like, and yeah, good finish as well, through the legs, like, just classy. So. Yeah, couldn't fault them.
I always wonder if they mean to do it when they put it through the keeper's legs like that, or whether that's a bit of a lucky finish. Like, obviously, like, he waited for Alisson to commit. And just rolls it under him, but if he meant it, then it's a fucking really good finish.
His head was down, wasn't it? Like, so it's whether or not he just, like, head down, just get through, put his foot through the ball, and, like, just hope that he's got enough power on it to beat the keeper. But part of me thinks, yeah, he's seen Alisson out the corner of his eye coming out, and he's thought, I'll stick it through the legs. But yeah, it was a nice finish.
It just reminded me there where you said with Gordon having his head down, where he's talking about how many pillows you use in the documentary. Where you go sleep on one pillow at a time. And then Popey's got one between his legs and that.
Of course,
he doesn't want to get nutmegged while he sleeps.
Yeah,
that's
like
why.
Practicing. I find it, like, so weird that in that documentary, there's so much of it is like a fluff piece, basically. But then they leave that in. It's like... Well, anyway, we might as well move on to the Van Dijk sending off. You've just mentioned it there, Tom. Does anyone here think it's not a red card?
I think you'd be pushed to find a Toon fan who would disagree with you on that one. Like,
I find it insane that anyone is arguing that that's not a red card. Like,
Carragher's words at half time blew me fucking mind. How do you know whether it's going to be a goal scoring opportunity? It's going to be fucking 1-on-1. Like, are you serious? It's ridiculous, man.
And the way he went on afterwards as well, Van Dijk.
Well, he's been getting punished by the FA, isn't he?
Yeah. I just saw your message, actually. It wasn't Frank Chipper's then, no?
It wasn't Frank Chipper. I was fully expecting it to be. I had to check the handle a couple of times before I shared it. But yeah, the FA is saying they're going to charge him, and rightly so. Obviously he didn't go off for the full VAR check, and then even when the VAR check was confirmed, he was still arguing, and then you can lip read him. I seen it like live. He goes, "Referee, you're a fucking joke." You can see that coming out of the mouth.
It's so clear. Joke. It's so clear. You didn't need any lip readers to like. And he's a captain. He's a club captain, and he's going on like that. Arrogance. It is arrogance at the highest order. It's a disgrace, and I hope the FA are throwing a bit more at him. If I'm being honest, because you got to set that example. You got to you can't allow a captain to go on and talk to the ref like that and get away with like just a.
I couldn't imagine them doing that last season. They're obviously not taking any bullshit this season.
Obviously, with the yellow cards, they've started carding people who backtrack the refs all the time. So
yeah, chatting back to the ref. I think because it's a straight red as well, so it's obviously a 3-match ban. And for them to go, you know what, you've done this as well, so you'll have a bit extra. So they're clearly not taking any shit now, which is good because they get too much shit.
Yeah, I'd give them a 5-game ban if I'm. I think that'd set a benchmark though, because it's like, right, there's 3 for the foul, for the professional foul, and then 2 extra for the dissent. But we'll see what happens. But yeah, it was the right call. It was definitely the right call. Isak again. Gordon. We'll talk about Gordon again in the build-up because obviously he played a massive part. It was a lovely weighted pass. Isak had just got the right side of Isak. Isak had got the right side of Van Dijk, and had enough pace to get away. And I think some Liverpool fans might be saying well, Robbo on the far side was maybe could have cut in and narrowed the angle and prevented it being a last man situation. But nah, for me, he's pretty much central as he's taken out, and it's a rightly so straight red card.
It's the most obvious red card I think I've ever seen, and I actually can't believe
if it was the other way around.
People
would be crying his eyes out.
I find it mad that Van Dijk
it wasn't given. He'd gone mad.
Yeah, Van Dijk had that reaction to that foul. I don't get where he's coming from at all. Do you think
it's because he's felt? Do you know, if you make a tackle, you feel your foot touch the ball. He's felt I've got the ball here, so he's not just registering in his head that he's kicked straight through him.
Well, I think he does touch the ball, but he has completely taken Isak's foot away and caused Isak didn't make a meal of it for me. He has completely had his foot taken away, and then
couldn't stay on his feet.
He couldn't. So he stumbled forward, and I think Van Dijk definitely gets a touch as he's wiped him out, and so that's where his argument might have been. But yeah, you've gone through the man. It's a foul. So yeah, he shouldn't have any complaints, but obviously he did.
Just before we move on from the red cards and stuff, I don't know if you guys picked up on this, but Núñez got a yellow card I think it was after his first goal. And then, not long after he gets the yellow, there's a foul committed by us. And on the TV over here, you see him. The camera's on him. And he's giving it this, like, asking the ref for a yellow to be given to our player, which, by the new rules, should be a yellow card for him.
Yeah, you can't do it.
We saw Bruno get it in the Villa game. So he should have had a second yellow for that. And obviously, again, because the ref's just given him a yellow, he doesn't want to send him off, probably with all the controversy
That's
with
what's
Van
going to
Dijk
be
as
the
well.
problem.
Like, they're just not
That's going to be a
committed to
massive
it.
problem this season now.
And
For balance, to be fair, Joe Linton done it once or twice this game as well, and he never got booked. So
I can't
did.
believe Big Joe got away without
Yeah.
a single
Yeah.
booking.
a lot of fouls.
He should have been yellow carded about 5 times like over for some, and I'll for the benefit of like a few Liverpool listeners to this.
a few. 0.
No, there's a couple. And I said I'd name drop them. So Nathan and Liam, like, yeah, you were fair to call out that.
Fuck me, try more.
It's all love. It's all love.
You were right to call out that Big Joe should have been yellow carded, and
definitely
I
should
can't
have.
believe he wasn't. I can't believe he got away with it for so long. But the ref's clearly he was so patchy and inconsistent, and it affected both sides. So
That's all what I was asked for,
yeah.
a bit of consistency, and that game, there wasn't any of it, to be honest.
Yeah.
yeah,
They need
Despite
bottle.
them getting a red card, it was still a
They
12 performance from the
don't
ref.
seem to have bottle, and it ruins it when, I know we're talking maybe going through the team here, but we're talking about the referees, but they'll make a card, like the whole trend thing. It's an early yellow card, but it's a right yellow card.
Mm-hmm.
But if they do exactly the same thing again, give me a yellow card. If it's a yellow card, give me a yellow card. And if it equals a red, well, that's their problem. It's pointless going,
yeah.
oh, well, I've given a red for that. I don't want to ruin the game. Well, they've ruined the game for themselves by committing the same stupid foul. So the referees, I can't get my head around it. As long as the referee abides by the rules, and if a player breaks the rules, they serve the punishment. I don't get it. I don't get why they don't dish out cards, because it ruins the game. This whole thing, I don't know who listened to that, like the Mike Dean crap with Simon Jordan when he was saying that when he was on VAR, and the whole thing about his mate and not wanting to ruin the game and all that. These are literally the rules of the game. So if someone doesn't follow the rules, that ruins the game.
Well,
That's
yeah.
the thing. When you not go on page.
Yeah, I was just gonna say it sets a precedent then, doesn't it? Like, for some players know that they can effectively get like a cheeky foul that they know that they're gonna get away with. Like, it's like what's a donkey life when like you just get they know they've got this extra one that shouldn't really exist, but like they've got it, like, and it's
Have a little bit crap with the referee and a bit of a laugh and all that, and they get away with it. It's fucking bollocks, like.
oh, of
Rodri
course
has
they
to
do.
play that game. Rodri can make those fouls on the halfway line all game, and he won't get booked for it. Like, certain players are clever with it.
Yeah.
Certain players get pulled up on it like all the time.
It's surprising with Joe Linton, though, because he must be known for, like, he pretty much gets yellow every game. So,
Yeah.
it's
He's a banger
surprising
for a
that
yellow card, like. He got 2 suspensions last year for what was it? So many yellows up till Christmas, and then so many later on or something. I can't remember what it was. 5
They
game
got over
ban or
10,
something, I can't remember
basically.
what it was.
Yeah.
Maybe not 5 game, 3 games or something. Fuck knows.
So where do we want to start then with some of the players that didn't have the best performances?
But hang on, we haven't mentioned Tonali yet, because again, sensational
Yeah,
player. What
great,
player he is!
great game.
Right.
Yeah.
Unbelievable player.
Well, let's start
Yeah.
there, and then
He-
obviously
you know,
move on
he's
to
proper-
Longstaff as his
Yeah.
sub. So
He's Tonali's ruthless. Like he just gets stuck in. He's not afraid. Hoys himself in, and he just grafts his arse off. He's he's unbelievable. What a signing he is, man.
Yeah. I think we...
A proper sneaky burst of pace about him, like...
Mm-hmm.
Like,
Yeah, he does, yeah.
he just oozes class, like, whether he's got the ball, without the ball, like you'll make a 5-yard pass and he'll fucking start bombing up the field. And people say, like, oh, he's a defensive mid, he's a holding player. He's not, you know, like, he's a proper box-to-box, he's everywhere. And as you're saying, Pete, he runs all day, like, he's a class player, like, and he is a joy to watch.
He's complete midfielder for me. I think he can do everything, like, in that midfield role. Like, he's, like, everything, like you say, box to box. He can finish, he can pass, he can tackle, he can graft about. He's got the making of just, like, yeah, we haven't seen, like, a complete midfielder in the Premier League for a little while. I don't know, maybe De Bruyne is, like, kind of that complete midfielder. Whether or not Tonali could be on that sort of trajectory, then it'd be great to see. But yeah, he can do everything.
Watching him play, it reminds me of when Trippier first signed for the Toon, and it was like, fucking hell, look at Trippier. He's like a class above everyone else in the team, and it shows. And I feel like that's with obviously where we are in the club, we've taken that step from when Trippier first joined. But I feel like he's the next step up. And the stuff he's doing is, obviously, Joe Linton's not the finished article. Your likes of Miggy is by far not the finished. Gordon. Players like that, even your Botman, they're not finished articles. They're young, they could well be. But Tonali's a cut above them as well. And he looks like he's just up there, like away from everyone else. Like he's running his own little show. And it's a massive. It stands out a lot. It did against Liverpool for me anyway. Even his work rate. I know Gordon was grafting his arse off and stuff like that, but more his work rate of getting around the whole pitch.
Yeah. Well, what I was going to say was at the end of last season, when we were all talking about the midfielder that we were going to bring in, and that it was going to have to be Longstaff, who would be the player that you'd replace in the midfield three. We were all saying, like, unfortunately, though, you're going to lose what you get with Longstaff, which is the graft, which is the, like, commitment. And you're going to have to sacrifice that for a bit more of a technical player. But Tonali's come in and he's way more technical than Longstaff, but he's also such a good grafter and, like, in the tackles, arguably more than Longstaff. And if he does lose the ball, which, like, you do see him a couple of times, he'll lose it. He's then straight on them, like, winning it back, or at least stopping them from playing. So I have to say, like, he's probably looking like so far the best signing we've made.
Full stop.
So, like, it's obviously only 3 games in, but yeah, I'd say so. If he carries on the way he's going, I could see him being the best signing that we have made since the new owners have come in. What did you make to him being subbed off? Because on the TV, they kind of made out like that was a last minute decision, like they had already decided on Gordon and Isaac to come off, and then last minute as they were coming off, they were like, "Oh, get Tonali off as well."
Yeah, I've seen that, and I don't know if, like, it was any different in the ground, Pete, but I couldn't, like, quite tell why that decision felt so rushed, like, because Tonali seemed like he had a bit more to give. Like, there was definitely some tired legs out there. Gordon was definitely tiring, but, like, I thought Tonali had a little bit more juice in the tank for me, so surprised that he got taken off at that point.
I think we were obviously when you're obviously a little bit further away from the pitch, you can see on telly people's expressions in the face, whether they're knackered. We couldn't tell whether they didn't look knackered. You can obviously see when you see it quite a lot with Miggy, because Miggy does a lot of running. So far in the game, you think he puts his head down and think, "Oh, Miggy's knackered." Like, we've seen it against I think it was against City, because Murphy wasn't there. And you could see he was wrecked, and that's when Livramento had to come on, out of position. you couldn't really say that with Gordon. For me, you couldn't really say it with Gordon and Tonali. They looked fine. But I remember saying to my dad, I was like, they're the two best players, and you take them both off at the same time, which is just going to completely change the game. Like,
Yep.
I didn't understand it at all, them decisions. I really didn't. Isak for Wilson, okay, yeah, I don't have a problem with that. But Gordon and Tonali, I didn't understand that. And also, we're trying to defend a 1-0 win against a team that have got so much ammunition on the bench. Okay, they've got 10 men, but it seems like they're still playing with 11.
They had pace.
Exactly.
Oh, but yeah, the pace that they had, yeah, it was stupid to try and do that.
To then bring on Longstaff in replace of Tonali, I just didn't get it, because Longstaff's, I don't think, 100% match fit yet. He hasn't that long been back from injury. I know he had a bit of pre-season, but he's still a bit. I mean, I could be wrong, but in my opinion, he's still a bit behind the others. And the quality difference there from Tonali and Longstaff, when obviously teams like this can punish you straight away, which they did. It was a strange one. I don't know who else you bring on. If in fact Tonali was knackered, obviously there's no one else to bring on. But
the other one,
Joe Linton as well,
could be Anderson, because Anderson had a great pre-season and then he's not really had much of a sniff.
But Joe Linton was playing well, and he come off.
Joe Linton got a knock.
Was the worst one out with them three.
Oh, what? I was about to get on. I was about to get on to Bruno, because like
Bruno's
we're
the worst
talking
one out
about
of them three.
I know we will talk more about his part in the goals, but like, yeah, I felt like he did not take the game to the scruff of the neck like he should have done, especially at the start of the second half, where I thought, right, with the man advantage, we should have been pushing one of the midfield three more forward and like to play slightly off Isak and take advantage of that, like, and push them back further. Like, instead, we carried on just going toe to toe with their 3-man midfield. Like there was just like, and because they had started the game with Gakpo playing sort of in a like attacking central role, and you know it kind of helped them a little bit, and then the sending off happened and he had to go off, etc. But like, I just felt we could have done the same. We could have pushed maybe Bruno or Big Joe into play just off of Isak, and really like just taken over at that point in that final third, and we didn't. And Bruno just seemed to I don't know, he just faded badly in the second half. Like, it was just
a miss with Bruno.
He really did like just have such an off game. Like, he just couldn't get anything going. His touch wasn't good. Like, he's losing the ball. Like, his tackling was okay. It wasn't like great. And he couldn't string two passes together like for some points. And obviously the one that he tried to at the end of the game just completely gives the ball away. So yeah, for me, Bruno could have been the one to be taken off, and that's got to be something on Eddie's mind for me when it comes to selections for the future games.
There's been a lot of talk on Twitter, hasn't there, whether Eddie's got the bottle to do that. Sorry, Dawes, go on, mate.
No, I was just gonna go back to Longstaff for a second. Like, you talk about him like, yeah, being a big step down from Tonali. When Tonali got brought in, we all talked about like Longstaff's like role in the team, like going forward, and we said like if he came in, like he can do a job. Like, we trust him that he can do a job and start games and stuff like that. Pete, you might be right about him not quite being up to match fitness, but like I don't think he had particularly a bad game. He had a couple of chances which he scoffed. He had one shot from the edge of the box when we were attacking, and it was just like straight at the keeper, and it was a bit of a waste. And then he obviously had the chance inside the box where he tried to like flick it on. Yeah. Like, come on, mate! Like, you're showing Longstaff. Like, you don't do that kind of stuff. Like, Alisson was like coming out, like put your foot on the ball, like try and pass it across or something like that. Like, and he absolutely fluffed that. But he is like that box-to-box player. He will get forward, and I don't think he had a terrible game.
I think when I say that, it's more like we didn't know the how good Tonali was, and now when you see him play, it's like fuck me. And then you've got Sean Longstaff from North Shields coming on to replace you. Maybe not necessarily a massive step down, but probably in terms of flair and actual technical ability. Whereas
definitely can't discredit him that. Yeah. But
do you reckon Eddie wouldn't want to put Longstaff in that number 6 role? Because he's always played Bruno there when the both of them have been on the pitch. So if he's kept Tonali on, for example, do you think that you wouldn't want to drop Tonali in there, or you wouldn't want to play Longstaff in there, or what? Like,
I think
where would he fit in if
Tonali
Bruno did come
off?
It's
definitely more like for like with Longstaff. So
100%.
To be honest, when they made them subs, like the Gordon one, I just assumed he wanted to get Barnes on and get fresh legs at Trent, and he thought that Gordon had probably done enough and get Barnes on, and Barnes just had a shit game. And with the Longstaff one, at the time I was just assuming that it was because like Tonali's legs were going, and like he's obviously not been up with us for that long, and everyone always says like you've got to be that extra step up in terms of fitness to play 90 minutes for Eddie Howe. So I was wondering as well whether the Bruno decision to keep Bruno on was because of what had happened through the week on social media and stuff, and he's a bit worried about his temperament by subbing him off. But I do think it's more likely that it's just positionally there's no one really that you can replace Bruno with is a like for like, and Longstaff is more of a like for like for Tonali.
Maybe.
Obviously depends on if they were tired or not, but I feel like Tonali could have went and sat in Bruno's position and just sort of hemmed around the middle of that pitch just to steady the ship.
I think he would have just ran the game
down. Say again, sorry?
No, I'm just agreeing, saying like you would have absolutely ran the game from there.
Just put him in the middle of that pitch and just almost like what Shelby did in the Championship. Do you know what I mean?
You
know the context.
We've dropped it.
Shelby in a wig.
you know what I'm saying? Just if you put him in the middle of it, Bruno's ineffective. Take him off. I hope it's not the emotion thing that you were talking about, Paige. I've seen it on Twitter. It's a case, obviously, like you say, what happened with the tweet, him kicking off at the Toon fan. It's like, if he's going to spit his dummy out, you gotta let him spit his dummy out. And not wet nurse him on the pitch just in case he cries. I hope it's not that.
Exactly, you can't.
I really do.
No, you can't be he's a special player still, but he's going through a bad spell. You had a good manager makes the decisions and says, right, like you need to sit out a bit.
Yeah.
Like
it's not happening for you,
like it's not happening. He might be brilliant on the training pitch, but if he's not doing it in games and he's not at like the high levels, he has to like sit out. You know, you can't. No one's a guaranteed name on this team sheet, or shouldn't be that way for, going forward. Like so, for me, that was the one of the biggest mistakes of the game for me was Eddie not taking Bruno off and, like you say, rejigging the midfield and actually pushing us a little bit further forward. Because from about the 60-odd minute, the game, like Liverpool managed the game completely. Like they managed it. Like they did not look like unsettled, despite being down to 10, and that was because they had like just got into a shape and a system which just nullified us, and we didn't react to that. So for me, that's the biggest mistake.
When was the last time Bruno scored?
Oh, now you're asking.
Open-ended questions, please.
No, that's what I mean. We can't remember. It's been a while since Bruno scored. And when Bruno scores, he thrives off the crowd, everything like that. So it's like he needs a goal. So is Eddie playing him because he needs a goal? He needs to get that spark back. Maybe it is part because he's such an emotional player. And Eddie's he's a brilliant manager. Is he saying, I'm going to have to play him because the talent's there, the goal will come, rather than saying it's not happening, you're going to have to be on the bench, mate.
But we can't carry players like that anymore. Like, we can't. If we're gonna be realistic and try and take on these teams, Liverpool's and the Man Cities and everybody else, like we cannot have passengers in the team. And like for me, he is at the moment a passenger in that midfield. He's getting outshone by Tonali. Big Joe is still just, consistent 7 out of 10, despite, flying into tackles and stuff. But Bruno, for me, it's just his levels have dipped, and we cannot have passengers. Like, you get found out.
Again, I go back to what I've said what I've said before. I really think that Tonali's taking the shine off Bruno, and he's without wanting to taking it personally, and it's affected him personally, because again, Tonali's name's getting sang, and Bruno had one chant about him. Like, I think that's got a big part in it, mate, 100%. Tonali's the main man in that midfield at the minute, whereas Bruno's got all the fancy hair, doing all the tricks in the middle of the pitch. You know what I mean, though? Like, he was the main man, Bruno. Now someone else just came along and taken the limelight for a bigger fee, and who's done more at AC Milan, who's played in the Champions League more. He's a bit...
Yeah, no, don't get me wrong.
He's bigger than Bruno, and I don't think he likes it. Or not that I don't like it, it's just affected him, I think.
Could be a fair point.
Just to kind of play devil's advocate a bit, I didn't even think Bruno was that bad, to be honest. Apart from the last goal, I thought he played.
That's why
played all right.
Yeah, that's why people are saying it. In general, I think. Anyways, it's like, say Miggy as well. Like, people are saying, "Oh, Miggy had a terrible game."
Oh,
I thought he looked like one of our best players. Like,
yeah,
he just couldn't fucking finish.
I can't blame Miggy. Cannot blame Miggy. I don't know. You guys, fair enough. You've got a different view on Bruno. Like, I genuinely did not think he had a good game, but and it's not just because of the mistake. Like, I felt generally didn't do enough. Miggy though, like, come on, like, how unlucky can you be? He's put the efforts he had, the one, like, the touch and the strike on the volley. Like, I mean, how many times does that fly in the back of the net? Like, he's just banging lucky. Oh,
we started shooting.
I mean,
we thought it was in. But
I thought it was in on the
yeah.
I only found out the day that it hit the bar.
Quality save though.
Yeah, like, it's such a good
save.
Like, that goes in, and we're talking a different result. Like,
Big
at that moment, no, not a chance, not a chance. And then the one that he goes running through, and like, he's took on, like, it's like Matoma-esque. Like, like, yeah, he's danced through a few, and bang unlucky. Like, come on, you cannot be having a go at Miggy for not like finding the bottom corner there. It's just bang unlucky to come off the post. So yeah, those who are like going in on Miggy, like, I think just need to, like, just lay off him a bit, because he was putting in the shift.
I think that what's frustrating me with Miggy, which it isn't necessarily Miggy himself, it's more everyone knows what he's going to do. Do you know what I mean? As soon as he gets a little bit too far to that byline, every player, every fan knows he's cutting inside. So as long as they put a man sort of half guarding the byline and down the wing, and then a man on his inside, you've got nowhere to go. So it's pretty obvious.
You could say the same about Saka and Salah and those sort of players. Like, but obviously, they're better quality, but like, we've seen in patches that Miggy can, like, perform at those levels 100%. Last season.
I think it's more what I want to say is mixing it up a bit along that line.
Yeah.
With all these attacking players, just mix it up a bit, swap them. but to bring Murphy on a bit earlier, so Murphy can fizz balls across the box. Miggy can't do that. So just mix it. For me, it's like mix it up.
That's what I like about Gordon.
And Miggy,
Gordon goes on the outside and he cuts in, so like it keeps him guessing.
Yeah.
Whereas Miggy, he's, as you say, like he has their moments of brilliance, but then he has like too many where he just, it's when he has to think, innit? He's like, he's got too much time to think, and then he just cuts back, and then it's like if Trippier's not telling him exactly what to do, or it's just an instinctive volley or whatever, he seems to just peter out, and it does get frustrating. But I think sometimes you've got to allow a player those few moments to then get the moments of brilliance out of them. So
100%. I don't think it's on him. I think it just needs mixed up a bit, like, because he can obviously run to that byline. Remember what Isak did against Everton when he ran along the byline? Mickey could easily do that, just like Murphy can do it on the other side. And then we've got balls fizzing into the box. We never have balls just going straight across the line for you like your poachers like Wilson just to knock it in. We never have that.
No, not really. No, they're always getting just cut back like to like the penalty spot or edge of the area rather than just getting right on top of them.
Just lace one in. It might hit someone, go in.
Yeah, but
true.
So like obviously it's disappointing that against 10 men we didn't manage to get a second, third goal, but obviously it's even more disappointing that we ended up conceding. And that was always, like, I think you said it at the top, like, when they equalised, even at that point I was still like, well, we're going to turn it on now. We're against 10 men, so we'll get the second and we'll still win this game. And then they go and score another one. So where do you think it actually all went wrong in terms of the defence? Was it when Botman went off injured? Obviously, they scored the first one before that, but it's very unlucky that it like kind of hits off his arse and then his heel, and then so I don't know how much I'll blame anyone for that goal.
No, like I can't blame Botman. I think at the same time, like, why is like, I mean, they set up obviously for the counter attack, like that was obvious as soon as Núñez came on, but yeah, we shouldn't. In some respects, we shouldn't be allowing like that, like one-on-one situation to come about. If we were, maybe that was just tired legs trying to close down in the midfield to stop the pass getting through. But yeah, that, in terms of how that first one comes about, it is just complete fluke that it just bounces in the way it does into Núñez's path. But and then like we said, we can't take anything away from the finish.
So, you know.
Yeah.
Then the second one with a bad pass by Bruno. A very bad pass by Bruno. Then that's it away.
Are you putting much blame on Bernard Target for the second one? Have you seen that angle that's going around where it's like it's looking straight at the goal, so you see the pass from behind Mo Salah, and Matty Target's like he's stood square on, quite static, and it doesn't look good for Target. Like,
I think he's come on in the game, like a couple of the subs just never got up to the like speed of the game, and yeah, it doesn't, like you say, it doesn't help his cause really, especially now with Hall coming in. It's too many sort of occasions for Matt Target, like we talked about last season in the Villa game when we lost 3-0. He had a shocker, and like when he comes in like from the cold, he's just not like changing the game for me. And yeah, Dan Burn, again, it's like you put somebody as quick as Núñez on Dan Burn, he's going to get found out, and he's just, the afterburners from Núñez like just showed. And you know, I don't think if Botman had like not had to go off, maybe Botman might have like
I think you'd have been tighter with
sorted that situation
Núñez.
out.
especially after the
Yeah.
first one had gone in. But I don't know. The thing with Target is he doesn't do one thing or the other. Like, he doesn't press the ball and he doesn't cover. Like, he doesn't get back in line. So he's just kind of stood in no man's land. And then Burn, I feel a bit sorry for Burn, to be honest, because he goes from left back to centre back, and then he's against Núñez. It's like positionally.
The defence scapegoat, like me.
He is a bit, and it's like, I don't know what. Like, he could have been tighter, but even then, I don't know if it would have made any difference.
He's nowhere near it though.
Yeah, he
He's neither near enough to cut the pass out before he even gets to Núñez, or to get anywhere near catching him. Even bringing him down and getting a red card himself and saving him a point. Like, he's not even close enough to do either of those. So I don't think Burn's done enough there, to be honest. And I'll probably put more onus on him than Target.
Do you think
He's genuinely nowhere close.
Got something to do with us giving the ball away?
Well, yeah, because Bruno, like,
passed to Target, and he didn't pick it, so it was like, fuck.
No.
Yeah.
That I think Target, like you say, getting caught in no man's land might be down to the fact that he's expecting to bomb forward with Bruno making the pass, and because this comes down to just like our mentality in those situations, is that I just think we just lose our heads a bit. Like, we lost our heads when we went 1-1. I think we didn't like calm matters down. Like, we were like in panic stations, like Pete said, shell shocked by it, and then we were like Shelby shocked. The crowd are like obviously going mad, like, for us to push for a winner, as Pete could probably attest to. Like, it sounded like everybody was just proper getting behind the team to. I mean, it went quiet obviously when Núñez scored, but it was like, right, okay, we've still got 10 minutes plus added time, but like, we didn't seem to handle that situation well, and it showed, because mistakes happened. There
was a lot of frustration around when obviously when Núñez scored that second goal. Dawson will tell you himself, nobody really leaves until after the final whistle. The teams walk around and stuff like that. Literally, as soon as Núñez scored that second goal, place emptied. I was like, I'm gone, because I was that frustrated and annoyed that we've just thrown it away. I can't remember a game like that where it was like so annoying because it was our own stupid mistakes that's just cost us that game. It wasn't even I wasn't even disappointed or necessarily. I was just so frustrated that it was our own doing that we completely ballsed it up.
So do you think a lot of the blame is obviously being put on Eddie? Do you think that's like fair enough to put the blame on Eddie's door, or do you think it's more the players themselves that are responsible?
A bit of both for me. Like, and without harping on too much, there's just a couple of individuals I think that need to like up their game if they're wanting to, stay in the first team. And for Eddie, like, he again, if we're serious about competing at the top consistently, we just have to get better in these big games. Like, and when the chips fall in our favour, like they did, we cashed them in, and we didn't.
Lovely stuff, that, like. Lovely stuff.
It should be very. You see, that page is one thing. That was one thing we haven't mentioned quickly about taking chances is about in decisions. Is Harvey Barnes not squaring that ball?
I don't want to think about it. I don't want to think about it. It's like Raheem Sterling and Kane in the World Cup. I don't want to think about
it. It's
that was horrible. Like,
I don't know what happened. Yeah. Obviously, just like a moment of sheer nightmare for Harvey Barnes.
Two minds, didn't he? But the worst thing was that basically the same thing happened against Villa, didn't it? It was like before Barnes scored.
Yeah.
The exact same thing happened, and Wilson was screaming at him then as well.
Well, no, because he
raging as well.
No, because Barnes, remember, did square it for Wilson, and Wilson
Did he cock it up, did he?
missed.
No, but
he cocked it up.
squared
and
it
then,
too late, though, didn't he? And he played it basically behind Wilson.
Yeah.
And Wilson was like, just put your fucking foot through it. And then the next time it happened, he did, and he scored. Whereas this time, he should have squared it, and he didn't.
Yeah. It comes down to the whole decision making, doesn't it? Being, we need to be crucial, like Pagey says. When we're mixing it with the big guns now in the Champions League, we can't afford to be trying to make decisions in that position. Do you know what I mean? Imagine that was like in the Champions League semi or something like that, and because fucking Harvey's cocked up by not deciding whether to square the ball or not, the Wilson side.
Imagine that's Man City. They'd score 99 times out of 100 there.
Exactly.
Easy.
It's. I don't. Yeah. It's hard. Yeah. I don't know what you think. Surely he's not thinking, oh, if I pass this, is Wilson going to miss? Like, is it trust? Nah. Is it trusting yourself, or is it trusting the other player?
Or does he want the glory? Like, because he experienced like the glory of scoring at the Gallagher later in that Villa game, and is he thinking at that moment, I'll go on here and like be the hero, get the second goal, and win the game? Like, yeah,
that's the thing. He's fighting for his place in the team as well. So if he scores like in 2 and 3 games off the bench, he wants to give Eddie a decision to make. But unfortunately,
it's going to be Gordon. Stop.
I think Eddie would have preferred it more if he squared it.
Yeah, Gordon has to start again. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, we'll discuss all that in the next episode then, I guess, and we'll see who we think might get pulled out the starting lineup in the next game, and hopefully we'll be getting back into winning ways. But if you've enjoyed the episode, if you're a Toon fan, you probably haven't, but do give us a like. If you're watching on YouTube, subscribe, hit the notification bell, and join us in the next one, where we will be going ahead of the Brighton game to preview all the latest in the news and preview that game. So join us in the next one.
Wanna hear you go.